What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the second episode of the ALMD podcast. We are super excited to be back here. We had a blast the first time. If you guys saw the first podcast, we just had a great time. What did you think of it, Lewis?
I had a fantastic time on here, if I'm going to be honest. We were shooting for, 20 minutes, and then
Yeah,
it
about
ended up
20,
being
25 minutes.
almost 50 minutes long. And, we talked about a lot of stuff that we didn't plan on talking
No,
about.
a lot of the conversation was just sort of improv, or not even improv, just natural.
Yeah, it was just stuff that we would regularly talk about,
Which
which
is
is
kind of
the
the whole
whole
point.
reason we started this.
Exactly, just because we love doing this stuff. So we had an absolute blast. And I'm really excited to be back here. I'm sure you are as well.
Oh, yeah. No, week 2. Welcome back, everybody who listened to the first episode. And if you're tuning in for the first time, welcome. This is just a podcast where we talk about current gaming news or gaming stuff that, might be of interest to somebody.
Exactly. If you guys are enjoying this podcast, or if you enjoyed the first one, please be sure to like and subscribe. Really helps us out a lot. And comment. We'd love to hear your guys' feedback on some of the topics we talk about. And if you disagree with us, if you agree with us, or maybe even if you have other topics you'd like to have us speak on. So please be sure to like and subscribe about that. Or if you like any of the other content coming out, we're really excited about some Helldivers 2 content we've been working on. And speaking of Helldivers 2, one of the hottest games right now, really in the whole gaming industry. How can we start with anything else except Helldivers 2?
Exactly. So yeah, past couple of weeks we've been playing this game. We're having a ton of fun of it.
Absolute blast.
I think I might put in a quick clip of our gameplay.
Yeah.
It's coming.
Moss, it's coming.
Hang on.
I don't know what to do.
That was insane.
We've got some pretty good clips of us playing the game and having a lot of sort of fails.
Oh,
but
yeah.
also successes. So.
We've had some good successes in the book so far.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but to talk about it real quick, Helldivers. There's new stories, theories coming out.
Yep.
So, not a lot of people have played the first Helldivers.
No, I didn't even know it was a game.
And so, yeah, I'd never heard of Helldivers before Helldivers 2 came out. And so apparently, with the automaton front, as you guys know, a lot of people are saying that they might not be headed for Super Earth, but headed to another planet called Cyberstan,
Mm-hmm.
a little bit north on the map. And the reason they're going to Cyberstan is that that's where the cyborgs, I believe, live.
Yep.
And so they declared independence from Super Earth. And people believe that the automatons are moving north to go and free them.
Yep.
So there could be major lore conflicts in the story, and I know for a fact that they're adding new factions into the game.
Really?
So that's going to be pretty interesting to see.
Something besides the automatons and the termitids?
Yeah, new factions. I'm assuming that's what that means.
Okay.
But yeah, no. To go on a different note, Helldivers received its first big update so far since
Yes,
its
it did.
release. So obviously we're going to talk about that a little bit. I've actually got the specifics written down here.
Yeah, why don't we hear them? Let's hear what the changes are.
All right, so hearing these changes, you might need to change your loadout depending on what you use and depending on what these updates are. So first, we got the breaker shotgun. You're going from 16 shells per mag to 13 shells. And then in recoil, it's increasing from 30 to 55.
Holy moly.
For the railgun, you've got decreased armor penetration in safe mode. So, might need to use it more cautiously or just switch out to something else that might be more effective.
Yep.
For the flamethrower, you're getting 50% more damage per second,
Wow.
which, I already used it before. It's not bad.
I've never used it.
I think it's going to be pretty good after this update. I've got to use it still. For the laser cannon, you've got increased armor penetration. So if you got, chargers, bile titans, anything that might got
I
armor.
can't believe they buffed that. That was already so awesome.
I know. Yeah, I've got the guard dog with the laser. Yeah, he's died to it too many times already.
It always targets me. I swear.
You just can't stand in the way, man.
Oh, it targets me. That's the
You
way
gotta
it is.
be aware of your surroundings.
Dude, if I'm... Anyway, keep going. I'm not even going to talk about this. Keep going.
All right, and then last for the weapons, we've got the Punisher. You're going from 40 bullets to 60 bullets, and each bullet has damage increased by 5, so going from 40 to 45 per bullet.
Okay.
All right, so there's that, and then also we've got some more stratagems being added.
Interesting. Okay.
I know a couple of them are being modified. Some of the barrages, I believe the 120 and the 350 or 380.
Okay.
I believe those are being more concentrated in a central area, so not being spread out as far. And then probably the biggest one we've had so far is they're dropping a mech suit now as a stratagem.
That is awesome.
So you're going to be able to maneuver around in a big mech suit that's got not only a giant minigun on it, but it's also got rockets as well. I believe the cooldown is going to be either 600 to 800 seconds, so use it probably once or twice during a mission, I would assume, unless you do it pretty long.
Yep.
But yeah, that's going to be super fun to use. And then, another big thing they've also added, we've already experienced this one, is they're adding environmental dangers.
These are awesome.
These are pretty cool. So the first one that we got is a meteor shower, which we've already been a victim to. So basically,
got some clips of those.
Yeah, it'll show at the top of your thing by your radar or your compass that a meteor storm is incoming. Literally just look into the sky and you'll see them starting to fall down. You'll notice on the ground that there are light blue circles that are forming. They start big and then they start to shrink. That's where the meteor is going to impact, so you want to stay away from that as much as possible.
That would have been nice to know
and
prior to the last time we played.
And then at least I haven't yet. I haven't encountered this one yet, but they're also going to be having fire tornadoes.
I have not seen those yet either.
I don't think we've
awesome.
I don't think we've dropped on a planet with a hot effect yet.
No, I've dropped on a lot with cold.
Yeah, I know.
Not with hot.
There's a Terminid planet that I've been to before that has heat as an effect. So we're going to have to drop there pretty soon.
Yep.
But I believe that's it for the Helldivers update.
I mean, it's so cool that these developers are staying so involved in the game, involved in the community. They've been updating it. Obviously, you've got the game master.
The game master, which is everybody's main antagonist.
He threw a wrench in the war recently by having the automatons kind of jump into the next sector.
They did, yeah.
Yeah, and that's the story reason as to why we're getting the mechs.
Yes.
But it kind of goes away from the theory that they're trying to get to the planet. What's that planet called?
Cyberstan?
Cyberstan.
Yeah.
Because they kind of went closer to Super Earth, but it could have been for that.
Yeah, they could have just wanted to hit a hotspot on their way there.
Yep.
Maybe improve some of their mechanics and everything.
Yeah.
But, as the story progresses, I guess we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, it's just super exciting. A lot of fun. It's an absolutely great game. Excuse me. But Helldivers 2, I just love the fact that they're staying up with it.
Oh, yeah. This is probably the most care I've seen for a game by its developers in a long time.
Yeah, and they're just doing a really good job. And the game is fun.
It's super fun.
It feels like the game is designed for the actual gamers.
Yes.
It doesn't... I don't know, I feel like so many games nowadays, they try and please everybody.
They do.
This game, it's meant for a niche. It's meant for people. It's meant for gamers. And
it is.
It's kind of given me a feel of how games used to be. You weren't in the party yesterday, but me and one of our other friends, we were playing, and there was this kid on the mic, and he was just going crazy. It reminded me of MW2.
Oh, dude, I miss those
back in
days.
those lobbies where people were just going nuts and screaming at everybody.
Yeah, there's not that much sense of community anymore in those games.
No, not at all.
No, you go into a Call of Duty lobby now, everybody's in their own party, or they just don't care to, speak to everybody.
Yep, but I feel like that's a little different with Helldivers 2.
It is.
I mean, not everyone speaks, but I definitely see people talking.
I've seen them talk more often than not now.
And it's, for the democracy, for Super Earth.
For Super Earth.
It's kind of cool. I feel like a lot of games, what they do is you either just play it or, the community is
just there.
Yeah, right? But this one, everyone's united for the sense of hey, we're stopping these bugs and we're stopping these robots from coming to Super
we're all
Earth.
working towards the same goal, and every mission that you complete contributes to the liberty percentage of that planet, which I think is probably one of the best community features I've ever seen in a game recently.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's great. So I'm really excited to play some of the different features of the new update. I still have to level up. I don't think I even have the flamethrower unlocked.
Maybe not. I don't know.
I'm level 11. I don't know what it is.
You got it unlocked by now.
Oh, okay. Then I gotta get enough money.
Yeah.
Yesterday I was playing and I accidentally shot Mikey with one of my stratagems, and he dropped all of his what are those things called? Samples. Oh,
yes.
He was so angry. It actually doesn't buy you stratagems, but still. Anyway, but Helldivers 2, absolutely fantastic game. And speaking of another really good game, at least that came out a few years ago, there's some new news on Elden Ring, right?
Yes, no, there is some new news on Elden Ring. It was announced probably a week or two ago that Elden Ring is going to be getting some DLC, and there's already been a trailer dropped. So essentially, this is just more Elden Ring. I would summarize this DLC as you've got more story, more enemies, more abilities, more weapons that you can get. So yeah, basically it's just a big expansion of the game. I know that you haven't played Elden Ring at all, but
No, I never had it, but I've seen a lot of clips. I know it's an extremely popular game. Did it
yeah,
win Game of the Year 2 years ago?
I want to say it did because
I feel like it
those
did.
games like that always have a pretty good story to them. Uh, so like the best way I could describe the gameplay to you is like we're both big Zelda fans.
Yeah.
I would describe it as like a hardcore Zelda because it's even got Z targeting like Zelda has.
Yep.
But there's more features to it. Like you can
Okay.
level up, have different builds. People call them. So you can have a strength build, you can have like a magic build.
Mm-hmm.
So like you can do different stuff that you can focus on, level up those, and as you go on, take on tougher enemies. But yeah, it's just more Elden Ring, which I think is fantastic.
When does it come out?
Oh gosh, I don't know the exact release date yet, actually.
Oh, okay. But
But I gotta say it's coming within the next couple of months here.
okay.
Because I've seen people Twitch streaming New Game Plus recently for
Yep.
it that are just waiting for this DLC to drop.
So does this trailer? Does it say like? Do you know if it's gonna be a lot of story that's coming out?
I want to say it's a good amount of story. It'll keep you occupied. I don't think I want to say it's not nearly as long as the main game because the main game is huge.
Okay.
Yeah, because you can
I wouldn't expect it to be as long as the main game.
yeah, no. If it's just the first DLC, I don't know if they're gonna have multiple DLCs, but I might pick up Elden Ring again. Give it a try because
Yeah, why not?
I have liked it.
Didn't you beat it?
No,
Oh, you never.
I
Beat it?
got to the first major boss.
Oh, so you really didn't get too far into the game.
I didn't
then.
get too far in it. I know it became like super hard for me in one area. I went to Kaled. If you know if you played the game, you know where that is. Uh, but yeah, it was a tough situation. And I guess I
Super
just
hard,
kind of
the game,
stopped
right?
playing. Yeah. So this game, you gotta memorize attack patterns.
Mhm.
That's the thing, and
Okay.
you gotta adjust. And you can also, when you're in battle, if an enemy is going to attack you, you can parry it or you can dodge it. So when you dodge, you also have these things called iframes, which you're unable to be hit on. So
Okay.
like a few frames in the very beginning of when you try to dodge, you cannot be hit. So a lot of people do that. And then other people, if you're very confident on exactly when the attack hits you, you can also parry it and that'll stun the enemy. So,
Okay.
greater risk, greater reward.
Kind of reminds me of God of War combat. I don't know how much you played God of War.
I played a bit of it.
Yeah, fun time. But anyway, that's super interesting. Is the DLC free for?
No. I don't I can't remember how much exactly it costs, but I know it's definitely not free.
Okay.
I'd be extremely surprised if it was free.
So in this trailer, did they say? I mean, obviously there's new story, right? Is
Yeah, there's new story.
Sort of power ups or enemy types, something like that.
I believe so. I don't know exactly if there's enemy types, but I want to say it's going to be at least a cosmetic difference
Okay.
in the types of enemies
Was
you're
the
going to be fighting.
Trailer just sort of
It was
showing the new
yeah.
the fact that there is DLC and there's excitement for it. Didn't give too much away.
I would say it's mainly a story trailer.
Okay.
Because it's a lot of it is not necessarily gameplay, but a lot of it's voiceover and just different views of the bosses that you're going to be fighting.
Okay. Well, I mean, the game is obviously super popular. I actually watched, not a stream, but Ludwig did. It was like he did do a stream, but he made a YouTube video of
Oh yeah.
him. He played the game, and he didn't stop streaming until he beat it.
Oh
and
my
it took like
gosh.
something like 5 days for him to beat the game.
5 days?
Yeah, but I mean, he slept on stream and stuff.
Oh yeah.
And I watched him beat the final boss, and it took him forever. Like,
Oh, yeah.
He just died. I think he died like over 1,000 times playing the game.
Yep.
So, maybe I'll have to pick it up. Why not? I mean,
Yeah. A lot of people love it for its difficulty.
yeah, I would not like it for that reason. I like the game. I mean, I like it when the games are hard, but if I would not want to be on a boss for so long.
No, it is frustrating, but that's when you just got to think of, all right, what can I do here? Just come up with a different strategy.
Kind of reminds me of just talking about it. Kind of reminds me of when we used to play Destiny. And we'd
The
just be in
raids.
the raids, and
Yep.
we'd be on like Golgoroth for like hours, and it'd just be like, oh my gosh. But it was super satisfying when you did actually beat it.
Dude, one moment I'm always gonna think of when we think of Destiny raids is definitely
The Crota?
Crota for sure.
Oh,
And I
yeah.
think of one specific moment. So a little bit of explanation back in the day when we used to play Destiny, I was known for not having good connection.
Absolutely horrible. We used to call it the
Horrible.
Lewis connection. It was
Yes.
that bad.
So I never hosted a party or anything. And I remember we did Crota on hard difficulty.
Yep.
And I remember you had to knock down, was it like different enemies to knock down his shield, or did you have to stun him somehow?
I don't even remember. I'm pretty sure you had to use the sword.
You could only damage him with a certain sword. So I remember it was the final set of like sword swings that we were gonna get on him,
Mm-hmm.
and the guy literally had the sword, ran down to go up to him, and I literally just see him just keep running past Crota and everything, and I'm like, oh my gosh, please no. And of
Oh,
course, my connection cuts out probably 30 seconds before they all beat the raid. So they all got to bear the rewards, and I was stuck with the last checkpoint.
yeah, I just remember when everyone gets the rewards, it shows what everyone gets in the bottom left, and we in the midst of it, we just saw you disconnected.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, it was so funny. We were dying because I think we were put on that boss for like hours.
Oh, yeah,
and
we were.
Finally, yeah, you remember, huh?
Oh yeah,
So anyway, Destiny was a great time. We had so many good memories on that game.
so many good
I
memories.
wish they were able to remake Destiny 1 or somehow re-spark the Destiny 1 feeling we had. I feel like Destiny 2 doesn't do it justice. I
It
mean, it's still a
doesn't.
good game.
It's a decent game, I would say. I don't like it enough for it to be as good though.
I just can't stick with it.
I can't.
No, it's I don't know. We go in spurts. We'll play it every once in a while, and like
It'll
Well,
fall off like 2 weeks later.
yeah, like we just can't really get into it. But then every time we do, we'll play it and then we'll try and get to the light level to do the raid, and it just doesn't work.
It doesn't work out.
But it is a good game. I miss Destiny 1.
I do.
OG Destiny
OG
1.
year 1 Destiny 1 to be
VOG,
specific. VOG,
Crota.
dude.
So much fun.
I swear we could do a whole episode just about that.
Yeah, just about Destiny in general.
Yeah, probably.
Maybe just even on VOG.
We probably could do one on each raid.
If you guys never played Destiny, oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness, you missed out. I'm sorry.
Well, we were. I mean, that's when we were in the prime of our gaming. We were like,
Oh yeah,
15.
we were 13 when Destiny first dropped.
Yeah, 2013.
2014.
2014.
Oh yeah, I was 13 in 2014. You turned 14.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, that's just crazy to think about.
It is.
The fact that it came out over 10 years ago.
Still can't be beat though.
No, the
it's
game.
crazy.
I mean, the game is absolutely fantastic. I mean, the original Destiny 1, man, you spent hours. And when you finally got Gjallarhorn or Icebreaker or Vex Mythoclast, oh yeah.
Very vocal about it.
Yep, exactly right. You could say that again. And the amount of times we stayed up till 4 a.m. playing that game, and we've got some good memories on it.
We do.
We could make that doesn't qualify for a retro game of the week.
No,
does
it doesn't.
No.
It's a few years past our cutoff.
Yeah. We'll do it on episode 5,000 of the ALMD podcast.
Yeah.
Anyway.
If it goes far enough.
But kind of going on a little bit of a tangent.
Yeah,
from
just a
Elden
bit.
Ring. Talked a little bit about Destiny, but talked about it for a little while. We kind of wanted to dive into one of the other things we talked about last week, and we got a little bit more information on it. Last week we discussed how a lot of layoffs were happening in the gaming community. EA laid off about 700 employees, and Sony laid off about 900. Super sad. But both the presidents said that it had to do with changing markets in the gaming industry and how the gaming industry is changing, right? And super concerning, right?
Yes.
They're releasing all these. What would you say? Didn't one of the gaming?
I want to say a location in London completely shut down, and they had to lay everybody off.
Yeah. So it's super interesting with all these changes, and there's a few reasons that I was able to research or do some digging on as to why I believe and why others believe that this is happening. One has to do with certain IP games. So if you've been paying attention, games that involve IPs such as Marvel games or Star Wars games, extremely popular like movies,
Yeah.
TV shows that just really have not been succeeding gaming wise, apart from like Spider-Man and Batman games.
Yeah.
Most of those other Star Wars or Marvel games just don't really do too well. For instance, you've got Suicide Squad very recently was a bust.
Huge flop for several reasons.
So Suicide Squad was a bust. Then Guardians of the Galaxy, which I heard was actually a good game.
I heard it was pretty good, but for some reason it just didn't sell.
It is constantly on sale for like $15 on Steam.
Yeah.
So that game, a Mandalorian game was just canceled. A different Star Wars game was just canceled.
I want to say it was 1313, I believe it's called.
So a lot of these IPs are either not making money or they're just getting straight up canceled. And the reason for this is because, well, for one, these games aren't really great.
Yeah, they're not necessarily good.
The Avengers game, they put like $100 million into that game.
That's ridiculous.
I don't even think it sold for like $10 million.
Dude,
It
have you
was-
seen footage of Spider-Man swinging in that Avengers game?
I have not. I haven't touched the Avengers
It's
game.
so terrible.
Yeah, I can just imagine. I mean, it's probably looks horrible compared to Spider-Man 2.
It looks horrible compared to anything.
So, anyway, kind of diving into it, uh, part of the reason that these companies are developing all these IP games are losing a lot of money is because, and this makes sense, right? The Marvel, Disney, Lucasfilm, or the Star Wars,
Yeah.
who own these IPs, they take a cut of the game. And I just found out Spider-Man 2, which again is the one that is kind of the outlier,
It was
super
contender
successful.
for Game of the Year.
Exactly. Super successful Marvel game that's an IP. It just now, like I think within the last week, just hit profitability.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I am. Because, and here's why. Marvel takes 26% of every bit of profit or revenue made from that game. So they essentially have to make way more money than what they put into the game in order to even break even.
Okay.
And when did Spider-Man 2 come out? November or September?
I want to say, yeah, no, October 27th of last year.
Oh man, you got the date down.
I want to say, because I had that date in mind quite a bit.
So it's been out for, 5 months, and they just hit profitability, and it was one of the
Been
hottest
longer
games
than
of the year.
5 months. I feel like it
Well,
hasn't been that long. It was no, I know for a fact it was
October to
October
March.
27th though.
October to March.
Yeah.
It's been about 5 months.
Yeah.
Which it doesn't feel like it, but it's been about 5 months, and the game just became profitable.
Mhm.
And again, this partially has to do with all the IPs, and then not to mention, if you look at this year, just kind of with the popular games, we've got Power World and Helldivers, definitely the two biggest games that have
Yes.
come out this year. And these games are $30,
Mhm.
and Helldivers is $40, and they're not made by big companies. They're like not made by AAA companies, and all the AAA games that have been supposed to be really good this year have all totally flopped.
Yep.
Suicide Squad. What was that one? It was like a C game, like Sea of Thieves, something like that.
Skull and Bones.
Skull and Bones. I heard that game was absolute flop. Like I
Yeah.
heard it was based on Assassin's Creed 4, and apparently it does stuff worse than
Black
Assassin's
Flag?
Creed. Yeah.
Dude, come on.
That's-
That game was like over a decade ago.
Yeah, but apparently the game mechanics in the game today are worse than Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, and actually Steam sales for Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag have gone up in
Of
the
course
last
they
month
have.
because of this. So, kind of getting back into it, the interesting theme I'd like to talk about is kind of how the presidents of these companies keep talking about changing market, right? Changing industry. Well, maybe it's the AAA companies that need to change because all of their games aren't really doing too well.
No.
And you've got all these small developers that are making these games that these gamers love.
Well, yeah, because I want to say the smaller the studio, the bigger of a gamer those developers might be. Because I feel like they're too disconnected from their audience.
Exactly. And that, in a way, that's a good thing. It's a good thing for the smaller developers.
Yeah.
Because they understand, like, what the gamers want.
Exactly.
They're almost they're making the game that they want to play.
I want to say that the company that developed Power World is less than 100 people.
Yeah, it's super small. And that's what, I don't want to say that's what you want, because obviously you want the game to be as good as it can be, and you want
Yeah.
people to work on it.
You want a lot of specialists on it, but you have to have people that love to play.
Yeah, exactly.
And those people know what they want to see.
Yeah, and
I feel like, why don't these companies even have test groups for their games?
like, what do you mean they don't have tests? Like
Like,
they don't beta test, or
no, like sign up to be like a part
like
of a group
gamers?
and come in and play their game
It's actually a really good idea.
and get positive or negative feedback, see what they need to change, add, or fix.
It's not even just that, like pre-game. Like, I guess kind of, but okay, for example, like Call of Duty Zombies, right?
Yeah.
Huge. It was absolutely fantastic. Black Ops 2, Black Ops 3 era.
Black Ops 3 was peak of zombies, I'll say that.
Oh, it was 100%. That the best maps. It's got the best culmination of maps. It has custom zombies on it,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just absolutely fantastic. Gobblegum system. I was nervous about it at first, but it's great.
Yeah, it's really good.
But then in Black Ops 4, they changed the whole system, right?
Hated it.
Yeah, they got rid of Juggernog. They changed the perk setup. How you can like change your perks and
Yeah, no. So for Black Ops 4, it was they have 4 places that you can get a perk, but you assign 1 perk to each slot.
yep.
So
and
you can only get
change the
4
location.
perks ever.
Yep.
And no, I've actually watched videos on this before. It's so annoying how they came up with this, because the developers were watching people play and they were like, oh, well, these people get the same perks every single time. like Juggernog, Speed Cola, Double Tap, and they were like, oh well, maybe let's get rid of those and see how people mix up the experience. So they didn't take into the fact that everybody just actually likes having these perks, and they thought just because it's different, that means it's better.
That's just part of the game.
It's just part of the game.
But
People call them crutch perks for a reason, because it's just better to have them.
yeah, exactly. But here's the whole point of what I was bringing this up, right? Is okay, Black Ops 4, they made the change, right?
Mm-hmm.
They made a mistake. But how come they haven't fixed it? How come they haven't just, why did they adjust it? I feel like they're so disconnected from the community. And we're talking about zombies, but this is kind of
gaming in general.
Yeah, this is gaming wide. Like, you look at other huge companies, right, or huge games. The Last of Us 2. We talked about that a little bit last week.
Yes, we did.
The game was such a huge flop, and the developers couldn't understand why. Nobody understood that the story felt super disconnected and super unfun to play.
Nobody wanted it.
No. Well,
even though it sends a good message, nobody wanted to see that, Joel get done like that.
It wasn't even just that.
That's what tipped me over personally.
Yeah, I know that's what tipped you over. But
I didn't even play the first game really, but I still like Joel.
Yeah, the main crutch of it was the whole story, how it bounced back and forth between the two characters, between Ellie and Abby. But it made you play as Abby right after she killed. Well, it wasn't right after she killed Joel, but when she killed Joel, you already didn't like her, and then she killed one of the best characters. I can't even remember his name. He was your guy friend, Ellie's friend who was a guy.
Okay,
Man, I can't remember his name.
I don't know his name.
You shot Jesse. I think that was his name.
Okay,
I don't know. She shot him, and you're like, oh my gosh, what happened? It was a real intense moment, and then it switches, and you're playing as her. And it's
dude,
I don't want to play as her.
Nobody wants to play as the antagonist.
And they the developers could not understand why it was bad, and I just feel like it's so easy. I don't know. Maybe I'm looking at it from the inside out, but I feel like it's super easy just to look at the communities and understand, okay, nobody likes it. If you look at all the zombies YouTubers, all they do is play Black Ops 3.
Yeah, that's all that still to this day.
Yeah, and maybe if they don't, they're going to dive into Black Ops 2. I've seen a couple people play Black Ops 4, but
yeah,
who's playing I don't know. I haven't even played the new zombies, but it's open world. It just looks
stupid.
Weird to me.
I will never play zombies that's not round based.
Yeah, I don't know.
Why would I want a completely open map when the formula since the beginning has always been round based?
It's not even zombies. Not even zombies.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like zombies to me. I don't think it would feel like zombies to me.
What happened to the good old days? You hear the round noise, mystery box.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I just miss playing Kino. Why I love Black Ops 3.
I remember back in the day. Remember all the glitches or different ways you could get a certain get the ray gun from the box first try.
Yeah.
You would have to run into a corner. You would have to jump knife 3 times, spin around. I fell for those. Absolutely. Yeah. Kidding me? I was 10 or 11 at the time.
Oh, man, we had some good times on zombies. We always had our buddy Mikey train the zombies. We were doing the Easter eggs. He was the trainer. Oh, man, that was a good time. But it's a shame that the developers have kind of gone away from it. And again, we're focusing on one example. This is sort of a AAA industry-wide thing.
It's an industry-wide thing.
I would honestly argue almost every developer, there's definitely some I'm leaving out that don't do this. Nintendo doesn't do this. It depends on the game.
It depends on the game. Yeah.
But they just delivered with Zelda. It's great. Whatever. We got into that last week.
We have our certain disagreements about Tears of the Kingdom.
We got into that last week. Nintendo has been doing great.
They've been doing good. I'm happy with them.
It's just a lot of these AAA studios, it's crazy to me that they're unable to succeed. They have all the money. They have all the resources.
Mm-hmm.
Great writers, all of this. And you've got guys at the studio that made Power World, and you got guys at the studio that made Helldivers 2. They're releasing their game for cheaper, and it's better. It's crazy.
Wow.
It's only $40 for Helldivers 2, and the game is great. It's better. I think it's the best game of the year so far. We're only 3 months in. We haven't
Game
reached
of the year so far, yeah.
Game of the year so far, right?
Game of the year so far.
Definitely wins the community aspect of it.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
So, I don't know. I feel like we just somehow keep coming back to Helldivers.
I don't know. It's still on our mind.
I know, but definitely something we wanted to bring up, kind of touch on what we talked about last week with the layoffs and changing the community. And I'm sure there's going to be more coming up on this subject throughout the next couple weeks or months. But
Mhm.
I've heard some people say like there's going to be a gaming like crash for AAA games, and there's going to be a lot more people playing other games or
Well, yeah,
going back to older games.
when you've got something like that, uh, so a lot of these companies that are huge now, they had great games in the past, but they're
Yep.
failing to provide us with good games now. So all
Or
these new
keep the
people are coming
franchises
up.
going.
Exactly. No, like, with Star Wars, everybody was so happy with Battlefront 2. They were releasing updates, and then just, the player base, I want to say, reached its peak at one point right at the end, and then they just stopped updating it.
Yeah.
So they stopped taking care of it.
And
But yeah,
are they even working on anything else?
they are. Oh, yeah, we can bring this new topic.
Yeah, sure. Okay,
Uh,
why don't we?
so you might have already heard before, but they are re-releasing Battlefront 1 and 2 OG as a classic bundle, and they're releasing it on Steam March 14th.
Okay.
I'm not sure how much they're selling it for, but
I think it's like $20.
yeah, probably like $20. It's not only a re-release, they're giving us a little bit of extra content too. So
Really?
yeah, they're releasing 6 bonus maps, and then they're giving us 2 heroes to play as. So you can play as Kit Fisto and then Asajj Ventress now.
Nice.
Yeah, so nothing like graphically or mechanic wise is changing.
Yeah, it looks
They're
the
just
exact same as
it
it
looks
used
the
to.
exact same, but they're having new dedicated servers for it, I believe. So it's going to be, a healthy online community
You
when it
couldn't
first
play
starts.
the game online before, right?
You could. It was just the very first, like the first Xbox.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, first Xbox. PlayStation never had. PlayStation 1 didn't have online
I don't think so.
capabilities.
Wow. Okay. I remember one of our buddies. I actually never played the original Battlefronts.
I never did either.
But I know one of our buddies told us he used to play, and it was like against the computer. I don't know if there was a computer mode or if they had like a story or something.
Okay.
But
Yeah, no, I probably am gonna get that when it comes out
yeah, why not?
because I want to check it out. I hear people talk about it all the time. When they talk about the new Battlefront games, which are good in their own aspect, I still hear people, talk about the OG Battlefronts, how they love them, how they wish they would bring something back like that, and now
Yeah.
they are.
Yes, I've heard a lot of people say that the new ones aren't the same as the old ones. I really like the new ones.
I liked Battlefront 2 a lot more than I liked Battlefront 1. Just
Yeah.
because you could play as prequel, sequel, and original trilogy characters. Well,
Yeah.
in Battlefront 1, it was only original trilogy.
I think Battlefront 2 is probably the best like realistic Star Wars game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know, Squadrons was a really big flop.
I kind of liked it. Well, I mean, I played it with my VR headset and everything, so that was pretty cool.
It has VR capabilities.
Dude, that was like one of the main selling points.
I never even really looked into it like at all.
Yeah, dude, I played it on my VR headset.
I actually might have to try it after
Yeah,
this.
yeah, dude. No, it's sick because I had my controller set up, I had my headphones on, and I'm like literally like
That's
looking
pretty
around,
cool.
and I'm literally flying around in
And
an
why was
X-wing.
it such a like failure?
I don't know.
Wow, interesting. Because I've literally seen the game on sale for like $2,
$2, yeah.
which is just wild for a game that came out a few years ago.
Yep.
Like Assassin's Creed games are still selling for like $30.
Well, yeah, those are good, standing the test of time games.
There's so many games from like 10, 15 years ago that are still selling for
So
much.
good. I mean, we still play emulators daily.
It's crazy some of the games we're still playing, like old Pokemon, Zelda, Mario games, whatever.
Yeah,
They're just as much fun as we used to be when we were a kid, if not more.
exactly.
So, what were we? Oh, this Battlefront 2, the new one. Or I guess the remakes.
Yeah, the re-releases.
So that's gonna be exciting. That's gonna be exciting for the Star Wars community, and especially after all these cancellations of Star Wars games.
No,
So
it's
you got
ridiculous.
Mando cancellation.
The 13-13.
13 cancellation. I don't know if they're canceling. There's a different Star Wars game coming out too. It's like, I think the main character's a girl, and you're like not a bounty hunter. What's that? Like a scoundrel?
Scavenger,
Yeah, like a scavenger, kind of like what Han
like
Solo.
a Han Solo type
I
character.
think so.
Yes, I did hear about that. I don't know
Yeah.
any details though.
Yeah, neither do I. But I don't think it's supposed to come out for a while.
Probably
Who
not.
knows? That game might get canceled too.
I mean, we still have to get Jedi Survivor fixed for PC.
Yeah, is that still struggling?
Every time I look at the reviews for it, it's still mixed on Steam.
Really?
So I'm just not even gonna bother unless
I
I know
have
for
the
a fact that it's
game, but
fixed.
it struggled.
Of
So
course.
I haven't touched it. I'm gonna restart it or whatever when the game gets fixed, but it's just kind of unfortunate.
Yeah. I don't know. I really liked Fallen Order though. Fallen Order was really good.
It's a great game, and to be fair, I've heard a lot of good things about Jedi Survivor.
Oh yeah.
It just we can't play it on PC.
Can't play it on PC because it doesn't run right.
Yeah, but on PlayStation, I heard it runs great.
Oh my gosh, dude. Speaking of run right on PC, GTA 6 not even going to release on PC at launch.
Yeah, we gotta wait a year, right?
We gotta wait an extra year, I believe.
I don't understand that.
It's stupid, dude. Like even
Do they just want an extra bump of money
yeah,
like a year later?
yeah, because I heard some about they don't want people complaining about the price because obviously this is gonna be at least a $70 game.
Yeah.
Which like, dude, they haven't released a GTA mainline game in over 10 years.
It's been
People are gonna buy it no matter what.
I heard something about the game being like $150.
No shot it's gonna be $150.
I agree, but imagine.
It shouldn't be $150.
I agree.
That's ridiculous to ask for a game, especially if there's, which I'm absolutely betting on there being an online mode. But if there's no online mode, you will never catch me paying more than $70 for a story game.
They definitely have an online mode. What kind of question?
Yeah,
of
you know,
course.
they've kept the lights on just with GTA 5 online.
Yeah,
I'm sure they're
GTA
gonna be
5
running
Online
it.
is awesome. The heist. I mean, that game is. There's so much to do in that game.
I mean, yeah, the free DLC and heist updates every so often. It's fantastic. It keeps people playing the game.
I mean, it's a fantastic game, but it really is impressive what they've done.
It is.
For it to be one of the most popular games
For over
consistently
a decade.
over 10 years, and you have like unlimited things you can do.
Yeah.
It is so much fun.
You'll never run out.
No. And obviously, eventually you can buy like everything,
Mhm.
but unless you're buying shark cards,
Yeah.
it's really, there's so much content.
I have heard people say that they should do that kind of formula with like Call of Duty.
What do you mean?
And I think that makes sense. Just make one game and then just keep adding updates to it periodically. Because if you think about it, that could work pretty good.
If you think about it, that could work
I
pretty
feel like
good.
that could work pretty good for Call of Duty. Because not only would it be now every game has a certain problem with it, it would just be one game. They would be like, all right, what does the community say about this? What's the issues? What do we need to fix? They could go and fix it. And then that way next year, nobody needs to spend an extra $70 just to buy a buggy game at launch.
Yeah, but they're never going to do that.
They're never going to do that.
They make their money. But to be honest, I haven't bought Call of Duty in
I haven't
know how
bought Call
long.
of Duty since Cold War. I tried the beta for Modern Warfare 2 and I just couldn't do it.
I haven't bought Call of Duty since like Black Ops 4. It's been a long time. I have no interest in it. I'd rather play other games that I know are going to be good. And if Call of Duty really is that good, somebody's going to tell me.
Yeah.
The game comes out every year.
No, and you've got all your Twitch streamers and everything keeping it alive, mainly with multiplayer and Battle Royale. But
Yeah, the Battle Royale game mode.
I don't like it.
I
Not
don't
in
know.
Call
I'm
of Duty.
indifferent about it. If I was going to play a Battle Royale, I'd probably just jump back on Fortnite.
Exactly. I feel like they got the formula down perfectly on Fortnite.
Kind of talking about Fortnite, there's some big news for it.
Oh?
With the Disney has recently just put $1.5 billion into Epic Games in an investment. Believe it or not, they actually didn't buy the whole company.
What? Dude, Epic's never going to sell.
I know, but still, like, that's a lot of money. $1.5 billion.
They'll never. Well, they bought Star Wars or Lucasfilms for like $4 billion back in like 2012.
That's what I'm saying. Epic Games is
With
not
the amount of
Star Wars.
Capital that Epic Games has brought in with Fortnite alone,
Yeah, it's
Dude,
a
it's-
lot.
probably worth double that by now.
Hey, well, either way, Disney is not the majority shareholder, but they've invested
Good.
$1.5 billion. So and do you know why they're investing $1.5 billion?
I think I have heard something about this. They want to add something. What is it?
Essentially, what they want to do is they want to create their own like Disneyverse in the video game field and have Fortnite be the first game. So all of these games are going to take place in one whatever so-called universe. Fortnite's going to be the first edition, and then they're almost going to create like a Disneyland virtually where you have currency that is commuted like I don't even know the right word. It's between all the different games that they're going to add to this Disneyverse.
Mhm.
So let's say V-Bucks are the currency, right? You have 1,000 V-Bucks on Fortnite, and they have a different game that comes out that's under this Epic Games Disneyverse, those 1,000 V-Bucks will be there. You can use it to buy stuff there. And it's going to be like one giant Disney verse Epic Games community full of games.
Okay.
I don't know if I did a good job explaining that.
No. Yeah, no. When you first said it's gonna be like a Disneyland and like Fortnite, I thought you were talking about like how they had like a Lego game mode in
Yep.
Fortnite. I thought it might have been something like that where you could just like go around and
Nope.
buy stuff. I don't know.
I mean, maybe they'll have a game mode like that, but I feel like Disney wouldn't put $1.5 billion in just to do that.
Yeah, Disney's in it for the big picture, I would say,
Well-
especially if they're putting in $1.5 billion.
Yeah, well, we watched that not documentary. It was like a news YouTube video on Fox, I think it was, or might have been CB. I don't know what news station it was on.
Yeah.
But Bob Iger essentially just said the reason they're investing is for the bottom line, essentially saying they think they can make money.
Well, obviously.
I know, right?
I feel like that's the main objective for everything Disney does.
Makes sense. I mean, they're one of the biggest companies in the world.
Yeah.
But
Money for everything.
I mean, I think if you were to invest in a gaming company, why not Epic? It's a great
Well, yeah.
company. It does, it kind of entices it. Kids play their games, adults play their games.
Yep. Everybody plays Fortnite.
It's not just Fortnite. They own a lot of games. They own Fall Guys, which I know you're a little bit different about. I like Fall Guys.
Don't they
and
have
it's fun.
Rocket League now?
Yeah, Rocket League, huge game,
they acquired
especially
Rocket League.
esports.
Yeah.
You know,
They got a
it's-
big esports scene there.
Oh, I mean, one of the biggest. I mean, I'd say it's probably the biggest non-FPS. I don't know. I don't
Probably.
know that much about the esports.
I could see it being that.
I mean, obviously you have like Valorant, CS:GO, Overwatch. Those are extremely competitive
Yeah.
esports, but I think Rocket League's the next one.
Okay. Yeah, no, I could definitely see that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Disney, maybe they're starting to get into this gaming field a little bit more. They see potential. Maybe they're seeing the AAA failures.
Well, they did just re-release or remaster a game that they put out in the past
Okay.
called Epic Mickey.
Oh, it's got like paint and stuff, right?
Yeah, it's like a paint-based game. I don't know what you could call it. I never
It
played it.
sounds
I
like
never watched
Inkling or
gameplay.
whatever.
But yeah, it was a game that came out early 2010s, and then they just remastered it. So
Okay.
maybe they're dipping their toes in the water with that, seeing how it does.
Did they release it on Steam or PlayStation?
It can't
Was it on
remember.
the Switch? It was on the Wii originally. I know that.
Yeah, so they might have released it back on the Switch.
Okay.
That's probably the most likely platform if they released it on the Wii first.
Interesting. I mean, maybe they're just trying to dip their toes in it, like you said.
Yeah,
There's a lot of room to expand in the gaming community. I mean,
yeah. If
obviously
Disney
you have the big companies, right? But
Yeah.
Disney is nothing to slouch at if they're
No.
trying to get into the industry.
Disney could just literally throw money at it and probably make a decent product.
This is definitely a theory. This is not news. But what if Disney made their own console? Do you think they could really make some waves, especially if Xbox leaves?
Oh my gosh, a Microsoft Disney team up for a console.
That would be insane. Because if you guys didn't listen last week, Xbox, there's some rumors that after the
I think
next
it's- I think
iteration
it's,
of
like,
Xbox,
confirmed. It's either after this one that they're currently on or this next one that they're going to release that they're done with consoles.
they are not making more consoles, and they're either gonna just go full PC or
I would
I don't even
imagine
know.
full PC at least at first. I don't know. It's ridiculous. You never know though.
I think that would be crazy.
It would be crazy.
It would definitely shake up the industry. You know,
It
the
would.
presidents, they keep talking about changing markets. They keep talking about all that. I don't think it has anything to do with Disney. Again, this is pure speculation.
Pure speculation.
But-
Pure, what if?
Like the show. What if Disney owns?
Yes.
But I don't know. I think that'd actually be pretty interesting, and I bet you it would sell if they had some
It
good
would
games.
definitely sell.
But what would they put on it? They don't have any sort of they'd have to come up with totally new creative
Well,
games because these IPs aren't doing very well that we just talked about.
They've made games in the past that they released on like Wii and stuff. I remember, never played it, but I would see it sometimes called like Disney Infinity, I want to say,
Yep.
where you could buy the characters. It was kind of like Skylanders, I guess, where you could buy the characters, put them in the game.
Yeah, I've heard about that game.
So yeah, I don't know. Maybe they could expand on that or have something like that for their first console.
I think it'd be cool. What would they call it? What do you think they'd call it? The Disney Star, the Disney Castle.
It'd be something like that.
Yeah, but I mean, it's an interesting thing to talk about. I don't think it's ever gonna happen. Disney's purely,
so. Disney's purely they still
movies.
gotta focus on fixing their movies.
You could say that again. Movies have been terrible recently.
They have been awful.
All over the board, not just Marvel. Like,
Well, dude, have you heard about this movie called Wish?
yeah, I heard it was horrible.
Well, yeah, some people were speculating that they think the script is completely AI generated.
I have not heard that.
Yeah.
Like, the humans didn't write it at all.
No. They just gave an AI a prompt and then it just wrote out a script.
Why do they think the AI did that?
Because the script was so bad.
I haven't even watched it. I just heard it was horrible. And that was supposed to be Disney's like 100-year celebration or something.
Something like that.
And
It's stupid.
if that's true, that's an absolute disgrace.
No, we need more movies like, I don't know, Hercules, Little Mermaid. I don't know, what are some other, your favorite is
Lion
Aladdin,
King. Aladdin's good.
Lion King, yeah.
I mean, what happened to like the old?
Yeah,
I mean, even Frozen. Sure, that's new.
Well, they're making a Frozen 3.
Yeah, but then they're gonna mess that up too.
No, I think they got it. They like Frozen too much.
They like a lot of things.
You know how much money Frozen has made them, probably?
Yeah, a lot.
I think it's one of the highest animated selling movies ever.
I mean, it's a really good movie.
It's a good movie.
You know, you got nieces, nephews.
You know how many
They-
times I've seen those movies?
I bet you a lot.
Dude, I just watched Wreck-It Ralph Breaks the Internet like yesterday.
I love Wreck-It Ralph.
It's a good movie. I like those
The
movies.
second one's not as good. The first one's great.
First one's great.
But anyway, we're getting a little sidetracked.
Little sidetrack
talking about
Disney at the
Disney
end
and
there. See, I told
movies.
you guys this is gonna deviate a little bit in topics.
Yeah, and apparently not even gaming topics, which we did say.
We did say
might
we might
not
deviate
always
from
see
gaming sometimes, as long as we bring you the news first. I feel
Yep.
like that's what matters.
Always a little bit of room for speculation. It's some
Oh yeah,
egregious speculation, I must add.
some outlandish
Disney's
what
making
ifs.
a console.
That's a far reach.
Yeah, but hey, you never know. You heard it here first on the ALMD podcast if it does
Yeah,
happen.
we thought of that first. And Disney, if Disney takes our
They better
ideas,
get us some
I
royalties.
want a pay cut, brother. I want a pay cut, brother.
Okay. Well,
All right. Well, I
what
think
was the last topic we wanted to talk about?
I think we went over our last topic.
no,
wanna say.
there was one more that we wanted to discuss, right?
I thought we were saving that for next week.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
we were saving that for next
Yeah.
week.
So all right. So we got a topic planned for next week, guys. But I feel like that's a good place to end off on. And if you watched
Yeah.
all the way through last week's episode, you'll know what's coming. We got a retro game of the week.
Yep. So if you guys weren't here last week, we are going to do this sort of bit segment at the end of each podcast called the Retro Game of the Week, where we'll recommend or bring up an old game that we used to play, and hopefully it gives you guys some nostalgia or spark some old memories they used to have, and you dust up your old PlayStation, your old GameCube, and you want to play the game.
Yep.
So you picked the Retro Game of the Week last week.
I picked last
You
week.
picked Super Mario Galaxy.
Super Mario Galaxy.
One of the best.
One of the best games ever.
Oh,
I will
it's
say.
so good. And it's one of the reasons,
One of
believe
the
it or
reasons
not, we
we're
became
such
friends.
good friends. It's one of the reasons this channel exists.
Exactly. So thank you, Nintendo, for making that game.
Thank you.
But we're going to take turns doing this. You picked Super Mario Galaxy last week. It's
Now
my
it's your
turn.
turn.
And I haven't told you what it is.
I don't
I'm
know
going
what it
back
is
and
yet.
forth.
This is a surprise for me.
So I've been going back and forth on what I wanted to do. And one of the games that I always used to love when I was a kid, I swear, I played this game all of the time.
Mm-hmm.
And they recently made sort of not a remake, but an addition to this game and a remaster, and we loved it. We actually made a lot of YouTube videos on the channel about this, about the newer game, but the old game was Lego Star Wars: The Complete Saga.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely fantastic game.
Fantastic game.
That the game I was just referring to was the Skywalker Saga. How they
Yes.
kind of added renditions to it and remade it,
Yep.
updated graphics, new characters, all that stuff. Skywalker Saga is a fantastic game, but the Complete Saga is just nostalgia.
You can't beat the Complete Saga.
Oh my god, the old levels, they're so much fun. Unlocking all of the characters,
It's the best.
getting all the mini kits.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys have ever played the Complete Saga, you know what I'm talking about. The game was just fantastic, especially for the time. I mean, when did it come out? Like 2005?
Oh, that had to have been like 2007.
Really?
Because it did release on the Wii, so maybe 2007 or 2008.
I don't think it's that late. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. If it's
It's
2008,
an old game.
if it's 2008, it's really cutting our
It's really-
criteria.
You know what? If it's a little bit over the line, we'll make an exception.
Yeah,
because I
but
feel like that's a retro game for sure.
definitely a retro game. And I was thinking about it, and like I love the game, and I know you love it because
Love that game, dude. I played so much of that game
Yeah,
growing up. Well, I didn't necessarily play the complete saga, but I did have both the first and the second game,
yep,
and I played those ones all of the time.
yeah. So, and part of the reason I wanted to bring it up, one, last week you brought up a game that was close to the ALMD, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the largest ALMD ever kind of got most views. It was the most popular at the time. Was when we were uploading Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga content. So I kind of wanted to bring it. Yeah,
4 years.
It's kind of crazy.
It
and the
is.
fact that the game didn't come out till like a year and a half ago.
Yeah. What?
So wow, actually, it's probably coming up on 2 years now.
Yeah. 2022 is when it released.
That's actually insane that the game came out 2 years ago. Absolutely great game though.
It's a good game. I liked it.
Yeah. So I wanted to bring that game up. If you guys have your old Wii, or I think it came out on PlayStation as well.
It did. It released on all the major consoles back in the day. Wii, Xbox 360, and PS3.
Yeah. So if you guys have it, dust it up, or if you have some, if you have the game, can't find it, get an emulator.
Get an emulator, guys. Come on.
So play the game, unlock all the mini kits, do all the levels, the freaking pod race. That was so much fun.
Level.
It's not that bad.
It's not that bad if you memorize it, but if you're playing it for the first time, it's like
I mean,
I don't know where I'm going.
Do the Anakin Obi-Wan fight where you can play as both players.
That is such a fun level, I will say.
What's your favorite level from Complete Saga? I keep wanting to say Skywalker Saga, but Complete Saga.
I had a favorite level from Saga. I don't know. It might be Anakin versus Obi-Wan.
Think so?
Just because Revenge of the Sith is my personal favorite Star Wars game.
Mm-hmm.
I love the Lego Star Wars version of it.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, that's a good one. My favorite one is the on Geonosis in the Coliseum.
That one's sick.
That one's a lot of fun.
That one's really good.
You just got all the Jedi and
all the Jedi,
Geonosians.
you got all the Geonosians and battle droids everywhere. Not to mention the clone. I think the clone troopers come in at one point, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, like
and then,
right at the end of the level.
Then it kind of leads. I don't know. That whole end of the section is really good for me because it leads from the Coliseum. Then I think you go into sort of a mission where you're in a tank on the ground.
Yeah. So the mission right after that one, I know exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
So the mission right after that one, you're flying. Actually, it's that thing I have built right back there. It's you fly a Republic gunship, and you're chasing Dooku for the final boss.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of a fun level, also pretty difficult. I know they changed it for the Complete Saga to make it easier though.
Okay.
But yeah, no, that's a good pick.
Yeah.
I like that one.
And then it does lead right into the Dooku fight, which
is
in the movies
it's
not great.
It's all right.
But in the video game it's fun.
Yeah.
So that was the game I chose for the Retro Game of the Week. And I gotta say,
solid choice.
As much as I love talking about the other games, Retro Game of the Week's probably my favorite part.
It's one of my favorite bits.
Because we talk about, our games from when we were a child.
Dude.
And
I've got games upon games that I'm going to be bringing up.
Yeah, I've got a list. I wanted to say a different game, but you picked a Mario game before.
Oh, yeah. I know which one you're talking about.
I'm not picking another Mario game back to back. So
I already know my pick for next week. I told you that.
Yeah, I know. So
you probably know what it is.
Yeah, but hey, you might surprise me again. So who knows?
Not.
But anyway, guys, thanks so much for tuning in. If you made it this far, that was the second episode of the ALMD podcast. We just had a blast doing that
really
once
fun.
again.
I had a great time talking again.
Yeah, and hopefully we're gonna have a great time talking every week from here on out.
Yeah,
we're gonna try and upload these on Sundays, so hopefully you guys tune in.
Might be a little bit earlier than Sunday. We'll see.
Just once a week.
It just depends on our schedule. Once a week, we'll say that.
Yeah. So anyway, guys, we want to thank you again for tuning in.
Thank you.
We've had a blast. If you enjoyed it, please be sure to like, subscribe, and check out some of the other content. We actually have a TikTok channel that we're developing.
Oh yeah, we're working on that right now.
Maybe we'll put the link in the description to the TikTok. Can you do that?
Yeah, we can. We can.
Yeah, we'll work on that.
We got a TikTok. I'm working on something right now that I can post. I should actually post that pretty soon, probably.
Yeah, we'll work on it.
Yeah, because it's still a work in progress. So it'll probably be at most another week until it comes out,
Yeah.
the full thing. But I might post. I got the first minute done for sure.
By the time you guys are seeing this, most likely the TikToks will probably be all set up.
Yeah.
So if you guys like all that stuff, please be sure to check it out. Again, if you enjoyed it, like, subscribe, and we will see you guys next week in the 3rd episode of the ALMD podcast. So thanks again for tuning in. We'll see you guys later.
See you guys in episode 3.